With all the time and attention that you're going to lavish onto your miniatures, you want to make sure that you look after them. And in this video, we're going to give you some pointers on how to do that so that your models will last you for a long, long time. The first thing to think about is a useful device you can get hold of to use whilst you're still painting your models, and that is a painting handle. I have one just here, and you can see this is a great device because it allows you to hold the model for painting without actually holding the model itself, and there's a number of advantages for this. The first reason is that it means that if you get any paint on your fingers, you won't then get it onto the model. It also means you won't get any oils from your fingers on the model, and you won't smudge any paint that's still drying either, so really, really useful tool to have. Now the next thing to think about is if you're going to be playing a lot of games, because if you are, over time you might find some of the paint starts to rub off on the sharpest corners of your models. You can avoid having this happen by varnishing your miniatures, and we make a varnish just for that purpose. It's called Munitorum Varnish, and here it is, and being a spray it means you can varnish a lot of miniatures in one go really quickly. Now this will dry to a near matte finish, so it gives a really nice finish to your models as well, but if you're going to use it, there's a few key things that you must remember before you use it. The first thing to do is to make sure you read all the safety instructions on the can before you start spraying anything. The next thing is to make sure you shake the can thoroughly before you use it. Shake it for at least 5 minutes before you spray anything. Also make sure you don't spray in any extremes of temperature or weather, so for example don't go and spray in the rain. And the final thing to make sure that you do is to test it on something before you spray your actual miniatures, so a spare piece of plastic will do just fine. And the final thing to think about is how to look after your models once you finish painting them. Now a lot of people like to put them on a shelf or in a cabinet to display them to their friends or family, but if you're going to be taking yours to a club to play games with, then you might want to think about getting hold of a figure case to keep them in. I have one just here. This is a smaller figure case, a skirmish figure case. Let's have a look inside. So inside you'll find trays of foam, and in this one there's two. You can see we've got a smaller one on top here and a larger one underneath just there. And inside them they have these bits of foam which can move around, so for your miniatures, like these 1000 Suns I've got just here, you can trap them underneath it so it keeps them nice and stable and therefore keeps them nice and safe as you take them to a game. So there you go, a few key things to think about for looking after your miniatures, but to recap, things first of all to do are to get hold of a painting handle to hold your models whilst you're painting them, then think about if you want to varnish them or not, and finally get hold of a figure case so you can carry them around in safety. But really that's all you need to know, so we hope you guys have enjoyed this video and we'll see you again soon.